Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt and I'm here in Chicago spending the day with the newly facelifted Nissan Rogue. It competes with really popular small SUVs. I also spent the day with the Hyundai Tucson that's been updated, so that we'll talk a little bit about as we go through. But things like the Mazda CX-50, the Toyota RAV4, the Honda CR-V, this has some stiff competition, but it's actually pretty impressive. So I'm going to walk you around the best and the rest, and then we're going to go for a little bit of a drive. Now the first and really only con about the Nissan Rogue isn't really what's on the car, it's what's not on the car. And it's the fact that you don't have a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid option available. I don't totally expect a plug-in hybrid, but some of the leaders in this segment have brought one, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, but I do expect a hybrid. In 24-25, everyone kind of needs a hybrid in this class to be competitive. Nissan, Subaru. But that being said, the engine that you get here, the 1.5 VC turbo 3-cylinder, is really pretty impressive, especially when we talk numbers. So get this, 201 horsepower, 225 pound-feet of torque. That's not hybrid, that's no electrical assist, that's just 3 cylinders of turbocharged Nissan Fury. Now, you'll also get 31 mpg, which is incredible for something non-hybridized in this segment. That's pretty dang good, especially getting over 220 pound-feet of torque. So overall, it's a solid engine. We'll talk reliability a little bit behind the wheel, but on paper, this is a solid engine, just could be better with some of those hybridized options. So we'll see what Nissan brings in the coming years. This is officially my favorite place to film Nissans. Who knew Chicago was so beautiful? But anyway, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a facelifted or updated Rogue. So what's been revised? Well, from the jump, you can see the face. There's a new V motion grille. It's a little bit reworked. The headlights have been revised a little, not a huge amount, but they are full LEDs up front, which is fantastic. You've also got some updated wheels, which is quite nice. Here on the Platinum, we've got black finished, or maybe this is body color, but it's hard to tell. No, it's definitely black finished wheel arches, which is quite good. You've also got some chrome accenting down in your kick plate and the upper portion of your window trimming, but the profile is pretty unchanged. I should mention also that these wheels range from 17 to 19 inches, depending on what spec you go for. It's also got a black roof, it looks like, so it's got that floating two-tone design that everyone seems to love right now, which is actually pretty cool. I do like that. You also have taillights that have been, I guess, refreshed for this year, but does look pretty familiar. The only thing is, you do have an incandescent for your reverse, I think, and as well as your turn signal, but you get some interesting etching and detailing in here. Look at this paint. This looks pretty good. A lot of metal flake, a lot of shimmer there, white accented Nissan badge, and it looks pretty good. Platinum all-wheel drive, no exposed exhaust, despite this thing feeling a little bit sporty, which we'll talk about behind the wheel. And when you go into the trunk, it is powered on your Platinum trim, which is of course what we have here, and it's huge also. Looking at the space here, you've got 36 cubic feet of space in here, which is quite nice. You can fold the rear seats from the trunk here, and now you have a whopping 74 cubic feet of space. Look at that floor. That is nice and flat. I do like to see that, but it's not just there. I'll move my stuff because there's a clever little storage system going on in here. You do have 2 individual removable panels from your floor. So you could even readjust these panels to make the floor a little bit deeper. Of course, then you lose that kind of flush lining that you get to the back seats if you want to slide things up to the front. But it's nice to have this versatile option. You've also got a little bit of a cubby over here. Not a whole lot in terms of storage, grocery bag hangers. Not a lot of lighting back here. You do have a dome light, but overall, huge, practical, and nice sized trunk, and you even do get a spare tire underneath. Also impressive that the Tucson didn't have earlier today is close and lock. It does like to beep a lot when you operate the trunk, but when we look down below, towing capacity, 1,500 pounds. That's about bang on with the segment. RAV4s are doing kind of about that, maybe a little bit more. CR-Vs are doing that. Subarus will get you a little bit more, but pretty consistent with the segment, so we'll mention it here. And then in terms of the technology, things have been updated in here as well. You do get head-up display. It's going to be kind of difficult to see, but at least through the camera. It's nice and easy to see in person, I should say. But you do get this fully digital instrument cluster. It changes a bit depending on how you want your layout. This is a more conventional layout that I like here, but you press OK, and now you can see the VC, or variable compression turbo. It's giving you like telemetry stuff. I told you this is kind of sporty or more sporty oriented, and it does deserve some credit for that. So the nice digital instrument cluster gets some points. You also get a big 12.3-inch center screen. This is pretty good. I'm impressed. It's a little tiny bit laggy, but I think that's maybe just the way that the animations are rendering, and overall I think it's fine. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. The software is Android based, but it's pretty good. You get some Google stuff built in. You do get a wireless charger, at least on your Platinum trim here. And you do get, where's my reverse? But you do get 360 cameras, and they are pretty impressive, I have to say. The top-down view is pretty good. It's helpful, and it is nice when I go into drive. It does go black for a second, but then I still get to see what's going forward. It does have the invisible hood thing, so you can see on top of the hood or what's between your front wheels, which is pretty nice. Now, you don't get a digital rear view mirror, which you see in some competitors, but your safety suite, your Pro Pilot Assist, is quite good. You've got the eyeball watcher here, so that is fairly good. I will give them props for this. This is pretty nice. But overall, the tech suite, I would say, is definitely where it needs to be competitive in the segment. So it's a good update here in the Rogue. Then we'll check out the rear seats. And there's some good news right off the jump. You do have window shades. Love that. You also get this really nice, rich brown leather. This is padded leather here, even on the door card. Now, this is the Platinum trim, so you expect nice stuff, but this has like some brushed aluminum type texture to it. It's definitely plastic, but it's got some nice stuff to it. We'll flip the seats up, but we'll take a look at the seats themselves. Look at this. Quilting, rich brown. This is really, really pretty nice. So I'll step in here for a second. Now, this is artificially far back because it did the chauffeur thing, so I'll sit over here. Now, I'm 6'1", plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom. Plus you get the standard panoramic roof if you go for the Platinum grade. But you get nice map pockets, you've got some climate vents here, you even have a climate zone. This is kind of nice to see in this class. And 3-level heated seats with 2 USB-Cs. So this is all the stuff that the Tucson was bringing and then some. So this is pretty impressive. Plus, I just really like this interior. This brown is really good. The leather feel is actually very good. This is I don't know, it's one of the nice leathers, either Napa or semi-aniline, whatever they call it, but it's really nice is the point. And it's comfortable back here for 6-footers. Now, another thing I like about the Rogue is the price. They start at $28,420. Around the mid-28s is where a lot of the competitors start as well for the non-hybrids. So again, this is very much on par for the segment, but you are getting some sport and performance and some nice goodies in here thrown in that maybe you're not getting from Toyota and Honda, and definitely not Subaru. And speaking of goodies, let's talk about this cabin experience because I am genuinely impressed here. I did check my notes. It is semi-aniline leather, which I don't know exactly what that means, but again, it translates to really nice. It feels rich, it feels expensive, it feels absolutely luxury tier in that kind of step above. It's quilted, it looks fantastic. You can get either black or brown. I really do like this brown, especially with the kind of like midnight blue paint we have going on outside. 2-level memory seats, heated. They are not cooled. Can't get cooled seats. I will ding the car a little bit for that, but you can get a heated steering wheel, and the interior here just feels pretty nice. All of the places that there's piano black, you've got a little bit here on your center console from your buttons, but here it all has some texture. You can kind of hear that. And then this is kind of emulating some wood. It doesn't have any texture, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it looks good from a distance. It's kind of like that flipped house analogy I like to use. If it looks good from a distance, and then it's not so nice when you get real close, maybe it's like a flipped house. But either way, your center console is nice, your steering wheel looks nice, your materials are good, you've got loads of storage, and you have physical buttons for your climate controls. So overall, the cabin experience here is a win. Sports Rogue. Ooh, the turbo. It's variably compressing. Okay, so the CVT here will synthesize shifts for you. You can put your foot all the way to the floor. It won't do that every time, depending on where your throttle input is. But I do have to say, overall, and especially not just from a dig and from a launch like that, but just like driving around like a normal person, stop and go, down the street, it feels quick. It feels responsive. It feels like they did want it to be sporty, over 200 horsepower, over 220 pound-feet of torque. So these aren't small numbers, especially in this class, especially non-hybrid. This is the powertrain that you get. I'll do it flat floor. Oh, lots of lag there. I can see it bouncing off of the red line. Visually, it's more dramatic than actually like auditorially or what you feel, a sensation in your butt. But it feels quick enough. I like having the telemetry thing up here. It does feel a little bit, I guess the point that I'm making is if you want something that feels a little bit sporty in this class, this isn't a bad way to go. It also gets pretty impressive fuel economy, I will say. It doesn't sound incredible, but what does in this segment, to be honest? The other things that I like, the interior. I'm pretty impressed with the interior here. A lot of the leather is, well, it feels really good. The semi-aniline leather feels really good. A lot of it is padded, so what it comes together as is feeling more upscale, not quite to a Mazda level. I think it's just the design and some of the, piano black here, and then some of the center console, and like Mazda wouldn't use these materials, but the fact that I'm even comparing it to Mazda is, it's heading that direction. See? Now I just dusted that Highlander off the line. It's nothing to the Rogue, but the visibility is good, the ride is good, the steering feels pretty natural, the chassis feels pretty balanced. I mean, don't drive this thing like you're going to the track, but I will say I am impressed. There's one incredibly annoying thing though, and it's that the blinkers do that thing where when you go to select, do the full press, it returns to center, so then you have to like cancel it or actually turn. I thought we got rid of this. I thought we moved on from this. It's the only thing that I really can complain about behind the wheel. Now, people in the comments will talk about reliability. I'm sorry that my voice sounds like this. I've been kind of congested a little bit for the last day or two. The big question here around the VC turbo, the 3-cylinder, the 1.5T is reliability. That's why a lot of people end up going Toyota in this segment. I haven't done enough research specifically on this application to know, but I understand if that's something that's on your mind. So just do your own independent research. It's also very difficult and a lot of times unfair for me to comment on reliability because what I'm driving is a new 2025. I've been driving it for today, so I can't speak intelligibly to the long-term reliability. I just don't know. So go to JD Power, go to wherever you get your reliability information from. But what I can tell you from the initial impression here, sitting here, driving it around, interacting with the cabin, I am impressed. I am properly impressed with this Nissan Rogue. So thank you to Nissan for letting me have a go. Thank you to Mama for having me out in Chicago so I can drive some of these cars. And we'll see you the next time. See you in the next time. We'll see you in the next one, or we'll see you next time. But we won't do both, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, VC turbo. Should we dust this Land Cruiser? Let's see if he gets out the way. What is this? This Nissan is just out here dusting Toyotas in the sports Rogue. Oh, I know that guy. He's part of the event. Whoops. Sorry. I can't help it. I get behind the wheel of a Nissan. I'm just overcome with speed and performance and rage.